Hiya folks, just a 2 to 5 minute rundown of the markets to follow up on yesterday's live stream. If you didn't catch yesterday's live stream, there's a link at the end of this video and you can go and check it out. There's about an hour of detail on the markets. I'm going to condense that down to about 5 minutes now, but go and check out the detailed video, link at the end of this one. Let's look at currencies quickly. As you can see, the dollar got a bit of a tick up actually yesterday and moving up slightly, but just up to the 20 period moving average, and the 50 is just above there as well. And there's a couple of other ones up above us. I still think that the dollar is about to move down further, down towards 93. All the reasons for this I've explained in the previous video, link at the end of this one, and my target is down here at 93. At the bottom of this expanding pattern, which I drew in during yesterday's live stream, and this order block and the 78.6% Fibonacci, that's about 500 pips below us, which should push the euro and the pound and the other majors up by 500 pips or so. And maybe even the yen will move even faster if the yen carry trade unwind accelerates further. But nevertheless, we're out of the euro trade, having taken profit at the 200 period Bollinger Band and just above the swing high. And I'm looking for a move a little bit further down, probably down to this blue line on the euro to buy more and to get back into the long direction for a target of 1.2. There's my first blob above us at the 78.6% fib, just above there at the 1.2 level. And that's my target on the euro. We're also short now on the euro yen, having added, we were hedged, having added another short tranche here at the 61.8% Fibonacci as well, and at the top 200 period Bollinger Band, and we've added another short tranche on there. We have two short tranches all hedged at this orange arrow over here, and if and when the price gets back down to that orange arrow, I'll take that off at break even and leave the short position which we've just opened on, and the other two short positions from lower down. We also added a short position to the pound yen yesterday, GJ, at the top of this channel. That's what it looks like. We haven't quite got to the top 200 period Bollinger Band, so that's a bit of a concern. We still might have to reach there, or even up into this order block and the 78.6% Fibonacci level. Let me put the fib in for you just to have a look at. You can see that's right up here, just above the order block at about 202. We're currently trading at 195 and trying to move down. So far, so good, in a little bit of profit on that. On stocks, we're still short. Check out yesterday's video, link at the end of this one. We're still short on the NASDAQ and short in the S&P. But we also have long positions on Tesla, ARK-K, and NVIDIA. On cryptos, we're still long on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP. Bitcoin just drooping down again yesterday, holding the 50-period moving average and this horizontal support level at about 104,500, very crucially, but not looking particularly strong. I'd like to see a big, strong rally today. Remember, it's the FOMC meeting later on today, so if they decide to cut rates, which they won't, I'm sure, we could see all of this changing up. But a lot will depend on what Jerome Powell's got to say after the FOMC announces that there will be no rate hike increases. I'm confident of that because Polymarket shows that there's a 98% chance that we won't see any change to the interest rate. If that's the case, we may not see much reaction in the markets at all. But depending on what Jerome Powell says afterwards in the meeting and the press conference, any hint of QE, quantitative easing, rate cuts, anything along those lines whatsoever, any sign that the Fed might be giving up, relenting, and willing to cut rates in maybe not this meeting, but the next one, could see these markets get a big rally. That's later on today, folks. So all eyes will be on that. That will affect all the crypto and the metals and the currencies and the stock markets and everything else, commodities too. We're still short on gold, long on silver. Both of those are in profit. Go and check out the video at the end of this one if you want to find out why we got long on silver and why we're still short on gold. And we've also just added a new long position on copper a few hours ago this morning, near the bottom of today's candle, well, about halfway up through the middle of today's candle. And that's also in profit right now. I'm looking for a big surge up in copper if we can get these markets moving up and some optimism. And of course, it's all tied up with the AI, tech, electricity, robots, cars, batteries, all tied up with copper and silver, predominantly involved in those industries. And for that reason, and various others, including what's going on in the charts, we're long on both of those. Right, on natural gas, apparently Israel says natural gas supplies and produce will be going back to normal anytime soon. I don't know if they mean their own or the Iranians or if it's just propaganda. I suspect it's just propaganda. Nevertheless, the price of natural gas moved down. I covered this in some detail during the live stream yesterday and also in various tweets on X. But we got short again yesterday at the top of this range. And even though we poked slightly above, I'm thinking that this might be a fake out. So we do now have a position on natural gas for the first time since we took profit at the bottom there, down near this trend line. It's a smaller position. It's not a full-size commitment. We'll see how we go on this. But I'll show you what actually gave me an idea that this horizontal level might not actually be broken like I think it might be on the futures. This is the continuous price at Pepperstone. And notice that we didn't actually defeat that resistance level above us. The top of the zone is at 378 here on the continuous price. And that's exactly where we got to on the actual price. In fact, we got to 379, so just 1 cent above that high. Yeah, so maybe we have rejected there. Next target's down to about 3.2, 3.3, then $3. And if that big head and shoulders pattern, I refer you to the live stream yesterday, if that big head and shoulders pattern plays out, we could see a lot lower prices on natural gas, extending even downwards into the mid twos and even the low twos. I think that's the least likely scenario, but check out the video, see what you think. Let me know in the comments. We're also short on WTI oil, and this is trading exactly as I thought it might. After rejecting the top of the channel where we resold, we moved down to the 200 moving average, and my blob bounced right back up again, and we're forming this sort of bouncy ball pattern. These bounces will get smaller and smaller as time goes on, and I'm expecting this will move down to the bottom of the channel. First of all, the blob, and the next blob, and the channel center line, then the bottom of the channel, this big double bottom where we got out and bought at that point, and then a breakdown below there into the low 50s, and then even below 50. So that's in time to come. It's not going to happen overnight or immediately. And then finally on this page, I'm not going to go through the commodities. I'll leave that for your review of the video from yesterday. But let's quickly go through this. We're long on the dollar against the South African rand, and it's very, very simple. This strength in the rand is unwarranted, in my opinion. And if we follow a similar fractal to the previous one, we should get a sharp short squeeze here. We have nothing on the VIX, looking to buy lower down, below about 13, 12.5 or 13. We're well away from there right now. The US10Y just dipping down a bit, which is good news for TLT. We're long on TLT. That's gapped up a wee bit in pre-market, almost nothing. But we may try and get out of this trade at break-even at some point. This is just moving further and further down. And our break-even point is at about 88, 88.5. So we're not too far from there now. We'll probably just get out. So that's it for today, folks. Have a great trading day. All eyes will be on the Fed later on. And they won't be raising rates, of course, because there's almost no chance whatsoever. It's not a zero chance, but it's almost zero. So the markets will be watching what he says afterwards and how he responds to comments and questions from the press. So have a great trading day. Please like and subscribe. The buttons are below. You can join the channel for $1 a month and get all of the members' perks, or you can join my private group membership. There's a link below in the description. Have a great trading day. I'll speak to you soon.
You get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw, babe. You get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all, honey. Trader, baby, mine. What do we do when we catch a trend? What do we do when we catch a trend, babe? What do we do when we catch a trend? We ride that trend right to the end. What do we do when we show a loss? What do we do when we show a loss, babe? What do we do when we show a loss? We